Greetings. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Today is Easter Sunday. We celebrate the spring equinox, the day where traditionally the energy is renewed and reborn and recirculated through the earth with a whole new outlook, with a whole new energy, right? Where the dead is buried and the new is born, right? And whatever religion you follow, it has a different story. So I'm not really here to debate what facts are. That's why I don't debate, because there's no debate when you have facts, right? But yeah, hopefully everybody is feeling this current of energy for starting something new. Symbols are very important, especially if you deal with spirits, angels, demons, and that type of thing. Because when you consciously surround yourself with specific symbols, whether you try to or not, whatever those symbols represent begin manifesting into your life. Okay. I've had this skull for probably close to a year. What do you see all over the skull? What do those symbols represent, right? Those are the symbols of each of the astrological signs and the planets. What does the skull represent? I get that question often in the comments. What's up with the skulls? What does the skull mean? What does the skull represent? I'll tell you exactly what a skull represents. Mastery. A skull represents the concept of mastery. Skill. Skull. Proficiency at something. So here we are, and I mean, I've touched on astrology in my own workings, but I never really considered it something that I would dive deep into, you know, like evocation or communicating with spirits or, you know, psychology and all that stuff. Astrology has always kind of been a side note, you know, a supporting reference. But little did I know that all throughout that time, astrology has been at the core of a majority of what I've been talking about. I focus mainly on two things. Number one, I focus on harnessing and circulating and utilizing the energy present, right? And the other thing I focus on is the correction, balancing, and almost weaponizing of the human psyche, of the mind, right? So basically working with energy and working with psychology, right? If you notice, the core of most of my videos, I try to focus on beginners. I try to break concepts down for people who don't deal with this every single day like I do, right? I try to break it down for the common man, for the average individual, for somebody to jump in and at least know where to start or what to work with or what to look for, right? And one of the ways that helps me do that is understanding and researching psychology, right? How people think, right? And I've come to learn that people who don't work on their psychology run on an automatic thought process to the point where it's even predictable. You feel me? People who aren't working on their consciousness, people who aren't doing exercises and improvements to fix their mental state and how their mind works, to fix their flaws, to fix their insecurities, people who aren't working on that are on automatic. They're on autopilot. They're automatons, right? They're just going with the motions. And that's not to say anything negative, not to say anything bad, you know, but that's what it is. If this was a video game, you're an NPC. So in my videos, I talk often about how before even jumping into magic and working with the energy, right, before circulating the different energies, you want to work on your psychology first. You want to work on your psyche first. You want to get in there, find your insecurities, and get to the root of it. Figure out why you're acting this way. Why do you respond this way, right? What is it that makes you react certain ways to different people? What makes your relationships have repetitive patterns? What makes you attracted to the same type of person, right? Why is it that you're afraid of certain things? But when you ask those questions, you start to go back into your past, into your childhood, into the root of when you were being psychologically developed. Things that happened with your parents, things that happened with your siblings, with your schoolmates, or with strangers, right? Experiences between people. And the frameworks that you've developed as children, the strongholds that your mind has built, holding on to certain ideas, certain experiences, and running away from certain ideas and certain experiences. This literally shapes your behavior. From what you eat to what you wear, right? So I stress going back and really digging into that. For some people it's very difficult because it's very painful. For some people it's a little bit easier. But understand that whether you do that or not, whether you work on yourself or not, the energy is still flowing. Right? The second half of what I teach is how to harness and work with the energy, right? And that deals with your chakras, that deals with spirits, that deals with everything energetic. That deals with astrology and all that stuff. But what I'm really getting at is astrology is at the center of both of those two things that I talk about. Psychology and energy work. Astrology is right in the middle. Because depending on when you were gestating in your mother's womb, depending on when you were being created and formed in the womb, it was a certain season, right? It was a certain time period that the sun was beaming down on the earth and the planets were circulating and energies were being pushed down onto this plane. And they're the same predictable energies that happen every year, right? Every month it's a new energy. Same energy that happens since creation. Depending on when you were being formed, these energies were working upon you. And when you finally come out of the womb, you come out under a certain sign. It's not that the sign makes you who you are. It's just that the energy has been studied enough that we know if you were conceived on this date and you come out the womb on this date, you've had these energies forming you, right? And it's been studied enough that you've got a predictable pattern, a predictable framework that you fall into. You don't have to believe it. I've studied it. I've studied it with strangers, with friends, with family. You are your sign, right? And Capricorn, Sagittarius, Pisces, y'all can fight it, but it's true. It's true. And I'm not talking about the newspaper horoscopes. I never said horoscope. I don't even know what that is. But when you look at astrology and you actually study the science, you begin to see the patterns, right? Reality is based on patterns. Everything falls up under a pattern. But if you really want to be proficient at this, you got to fix your framework. You got to go back into your childhood and figure out what makes you behave the way you do and fix it, right? And it can be very simple conceptually, right? Like, you know, you as a child were naive, you were new, you were innocent, right? And you may have put your parents on a pedestal. You may have thought your parents were perfect, flawless. And when they did things that weren't perfect, you overlooked them, you accepted it, right? But as you get older, you begin to realize that your parents were not perfect, that they're human. And a lot of people, that causes them to have a lot of animosity towards their parents, right? When you have a hero and you think that this person is perfect, right, as a naive child would, you grow and come to find that this hero was not perfect. You almost feel tricked, deceived, right? And you grow negative feelings toward that person. That can have an effect on how you view anyone in a position of authority, right? That can cause you to rebel against authority, right? That can cause you to feel a certain way about females or about males. Or even if, you know, something happened to you as a child that was wrong, right? Somebody violated, right? As a child, you may have accepted that and thought that it was normal behavior, right? And as you get older, you begin to realize, no, it was not normal behavior. That can definitely shake up and shatter how you view certain people and certain types of people. That can shatter how you view males. That can shatter how you view relationships, you know. The list goes on as far as what could have happened to you. Only you know what happened to you. What I'm proposing and suggesting here is that you take the time to sit down with yourself and really dig deep into what happened, why it happened, if you can figure that out, and how you feel about it. Do you still cling on to that? Do you run away from that? Do you accept it and move on, right? Because understand, depending on which one of those choices you chose, whether you're clinging on to it, running away from it, or you accept it, that really is a determining factor on the rest of your life. And it especially has to do with dealing with the energy, dealing with the magic. When you have these things in your head, these traumas, it can hinder results because it's an emotional leak, right? You've got energy flowing out of you because you've got a leak, an unresolved issue, right? And this is a very sensitive subject. That's why I'm trying to be as vague as possible. But understand, in coming into your power and knowing thyself and growing, you got to deal with this trauma. You got to deal with it. If you can, if you want to, it would help to go to a psychologist to help resolve those, to help patch up those holes, right? To help you come into a balance, to come into a place where you are no longer a victim, where you're in control of your mindset, you're in control of your life, and you can start to build from there. But you need clarity, you need balance, you need peace, you need harmony. You need these things within in order for you to really have a stable platform to grow and build upon. Not to mention, you know, it adds structure to your thought process when you resolve these issues. It helps you go through life better, easier, more fluid, right? Negative things don't cling to you as easily because you're beginning to heal yourself. The spring equinox is also a time of healing. It's a time of rebirth, right? It's another opportunity, right? Now the energy is here for you to grow, right? This is why I did the money, This is why I did the prosperity ritual, because prosperity falls right in line with this energy that's out right now. Protection falls right in line with the energy that's right now. You are going to be protected if you're trying to grow. If you are putting yourself in the stream of the energy of the current right now, you are protected. You are. Because you're where you're supposed to be. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You are flowing with the universe. So she's going to provide you with what you need. And if you're ready for healing, if you're ready to go forward and work on yourself, the universe is willing to work with you 100%. All you got to do is take a step, and you'll find that the universe provides land for you to step on. You take that next step into the unknown, and the universe provides a platform for you to step on. Keep this momentum, and you'll begin to find the results are going to accelerate, because you're taking the first step, because you're providing action with your faith. Now is the time for healing. Now is the time for rebirth, regrowth, right? The birth of new things. Now is the time for that. Astrologically, the stars line up, literally. The sun is in a certain place. The moon's in a certain place. All the planets are in a certain place. This means certain energies are present right now. And this happens in a pattern. Just like the moon has 4 phases. New moon, waxing moon, full moon, waning moon. The sun also has 4 phases, right? And it's a little bit slower than the moon. But, you know, the new moon would be like the new sun, which would be winter. As it gets closer, it's waxing. When the sun is full, it's summertime, right? And when it fades away, it's fall. Now the planets have that same thing. So depending on which position everything is in, depends on what intensity and what level of energy is present. That's why you come out as a certain sign.
Can't sleep? Get a good night's sleep and take on your day with Unisom, the sleep expert.
So yeah, got my Easter Sunday outfit on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Easter, Ishtar, Inanna. That's me right there in the middle. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. If you have kids, I hope you guys enjoy your Easter egg hunt. You know what I'm saying? If you're a grown adult, I hope you're able to take the time to rest and relax. You know, clean yourself up, clean your home up. Get yourself aligned with the energy that's present right now. It's a beautiful time to be alive, it really is. Because as long as you are alive, you have another opportunity to make things the way that you want them to be. No matter where you are. Every day is a new day to start fresh. That stuff's terrible for you. But yo, this is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. As always, peace.